What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series where we're talking about Transformers 5. This is episode number 16. And first of all, I just want to apologize for the lack of updates on this channel. There hasn't been a whole lot of updates, mainly because there's really been no developments on the production of Transformers 5. And also, I've just been busy with all the stuff that's been going on at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Cinematic Universe, as well as the Star Wars universe. There's just been a lot of developments on those properties alone, so therefore I've been busy updating my my Ragin Rono review channel where I cover all that stuff. So if you haven't subscribed to that channel, head over there, youtube.com/Ragin Rono review. You can check out my movie news and reviews. But anyways, so I haven't put out an update until now. Now this is a really big update, and I'm sure you guys know about this because this happened over the weekend, and I wasn't able to do any coverage on it, mainly because I was over in Seattle over the weekend for Emerald City Comic Con, which was awesome. Okay, so I had a really good time there, but now I'm back, and now it's time to do this update. Okay, now this is, like I said before, a very big update, because not only does it cover Transformers 5, but it it concerns the Transformers universe, or rather the franchise as a whole, and it expands it beyond Transformers 5 and 6, okay? So let's talk about this. Alright, I'm going to read you the headline from Deadline.com. It says, Paramount enlisting Akiva Goldsman to ramp up Transformers output. That's the headline, okay? Now, if you don't know who Akiva Goldsman is, he is a writer-producer, and he's also, he's directed, I think 2 films, and a couple of TV series episodes, but he's most known for his work as a writer, okay? And I think he's a pretty solid writer. Okay, fine. He wrote 2 bombs, critical bombs, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, okay? But that was really early in his career, but afterwards, I think he's wrote a couple of pretty solid films, okay? For example, he was the writer for A Time to Kill, A Beautiful Mind, which was, it was recognized by the Academy. I thought iRobot was decent, okay? He also wrote Cinderella Man, Da Vinci Code, and I Am Legend, as well as Angels and Demons. Now, I Am Legend and iRobot, they were both decent films until they got to the third act, where they just wrapped it up Hollywood style. So I think that they're still pretty decent films, even though some people might criticize them. But anyways, like I said, he is a solid writer, okay? Now, Paramount is enlisting Akiva Goldsman to ramp up the Transformers output. Now, what that means is that, first of all, I was really excited to know that Akiva Goldsman is going to be part of the creative team, okay? But he's not really going to be the writer, okay? Apparently, the filmmaking team behind the Transformers franchise, that would be director Michael Bay, executive producer Steven Spielberg, and producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura, they want Akiva Goldsman to put together a team of writers, or organize what they're calling a writer's room. He's going to spearhead that operation, okay? So Akiva Goldsman won't necessarily be writing it, but he's spearheading this operation, which is organizing this writer's room, okay? And what I'm gathering is that there's going to be a team of writers in this writer's room, and then they're going to put their heads together, and they're going to come up with ways where they can really inject some new life into the franchise. Not with just Transformers 5 and 6, but Transformers spin-offs. Now, do you see where this is going now? Now that I've said Transformers 5 and 6, we're talking about 2 sequels as well as spin-offs. What they're doing is following the exact same business model as all these comic book movie studios, rather. Disney Studios. They're doing this with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well as the Star Wars films, okay? We're getting Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, and then we're getting spin-offs, which aren't necessarily part of that exact timeline. It could go in any point in time, but they are spin-off stories, which are separate from the main 3 films, but it's still part of the franchise. You know what I'm saying? Warner Brothers Studios is doing with the DC Cinematic Universe. Not only do we have Justice League, Man of Steel, Batman, Green Lantern, and Suicide Squad, but apparently I just found that Suicide Squad happens between Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice, even though it is released after Dawn of Justice. Okay, so what does that tell you? That just tells us that, well, even though they're out of order, they're still in that same universe, okay? Now look at 20th Century Fox. We got the X-Men films, okay? We got the Gambit spinoff, we have the Deadpool spinoff, and then Fantastic Four, even though it might not cross over with X-Men, it still exists in the same universe, okay? So Paramount Studios, they don't have their own cinematic universe, and they feel that, you know what, we have a billion, or rather multi-billion-dollar franchise here. Why can't we have our own cinematic universe? That would be the Transformers cinematic universe, and therefore making Transformers 5, Transformers 6, and spin-off films. Okay, so that is what is going on. This is what they're doing. The movie's not just going to end at 5 and 6. They're going to keep on going with these spin-offs, and perhaps they're going to follow the Star Wars a business plan, and that is to come out with a main sequel, and then a spin-off, and then another main sequel, and then a spin-off, and then a main sequel and spin-off. That way you can have more Transformers films in between sequels. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they could be possibly doing. Now, the thing that I want to mention about this whole operation is that even though Akiva Goldsman is putting together this writer's room, okay, and he's going to be part of this whole creative operation, the great thing about this is that there's no mention of Aaron Kruger. Okay, I want Aaron Kruger out of there, okay? Just because, he contributed to Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, and Age of Extinction, but, a lot of it is a recycled material. Like, a lot of it's just, a lot of the same stuff, the same style of humor, the same style of, choppy writing, and by choppy, I mean choppy storytelling, that's what I mean, alright? So there's no mention of Aaron Kruger. Perhaps he's not part of the production, which is great in my opinion, alright? I believe that there's going to be a team of writers. So remember how in Revenge of the Fallen is Aaron Kruger, Alex Kurtzman, Roberto Orci. Maybe if there's going to be 3 or 4 writers in total, Akiva Goldsman is going to get the best writers he thinks is suitable for a film, for a story like Transformers, and then we're going to put them in the room and then see how we can make it happen. Now, another thing that is interesting about this is it's a team of writers, okay? And they're talking about Transformers 5, 6, and spin-offs, okay? What that could mean is that they're planning out the sequels and the spin-offs as a whole, okay? You know what I'm saying? So it might not be 3 or 4 writers for one film, but probably 3 or 4 writers which are going to tackle their own particular film. For example, there's 4 writers in there. Writer 1 will write Transformers 5. Writer 2 will write Transformers 6. And Writer 3 will do Transformers Spin-Off 1. And Writer 4 will do Transformers Spin-Off 2. Now, the reason why they're doing this is so that it could be one big story. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, you know how the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, they're all connected in some sort of way. Well, they need that team of writers to work together so that, they go hand in hand. Like, as soon as one ends, it connects to the next one. Okay? And there's always things going on in the back of your mind thinking that, okay, so this is connected to this other film. You know how the Marvel films, they always have like an end credit scene which connects that film with the next film? So that's what I'm talking about. So they have to keep everything consistent, and by doing that, they have to have that writer's room, which is a great idea. Okay? Now, I'll be completely honest. I thought of this idea where they had Transformers spin-offs a long time ago, but I always thought it was a bad idea, okay? Because, that means they're just going to be smaller versions of the current films, all right? the thing is that Transformers are huge films. Like, in a way, they almost need to be huge films. By having a spin-off film, like, what are they going to talk about? Are they going to talk about the Bumblebee adventures or the Rodimus adventures? And, you know, does it mean there's just going to be one Autobot and one Decepticon in one single film? Like, and there's going to be a whole lot of humans? Like, what is it going to be about? Okay, how are they going to do this? I have no idea. Okay, I'm just going to assume that's what it's going to be like. Will it work? I don't know. I really don't think, or at least I didn't think previously that it was a good idea to do such a thing. Okay, because I mean, we're not talking about, you know, superheroes here. We're not talking about the Avengers here. We're talking about Transformers characters that haven't given a whole lot of character development in the previous 4 films that we actually like know the characters, understand the characters, fall in love with these characters. I've never fallen in love with any of the Transformers characters just because the focus has been on the humans. Okay, a lot of the films, I mean, every single one of these films feel so disconnected from each other because they change up the writers, you know, or they added writers, or they took away writers, and you know, they're just so disconnected to the point where I can't connect with any of these robot characters. Alright, so that makes me feel that a spin-off movie, will it really, really work? Well, the only way they can make it work is for us to connect with the characters, which we haven't done so yet. Okay? So, well, that is what's going on. I'm happy about the fact that we're getting more Transformers films. Like, they've just confirmed that. Okay? But as for the direction that it's going in, we'll see. I'm going to have an open mind about it. But this tells me a couple of things, okay? It tells me that Transformers 5 and 6 is going to be one big story, okay? It also tells me another thing, and that is something about Michael Bay, and that is he is very much involved with the production, okay? He's going off to direct 13 Hours as his next film, which most likely will be coming out in late 2016. Okay, or I don't know, sometime in 2016. In any case, but the fact is that Michael Bay is very much involved. I mean, if he's not going to be a director, he will at least be a producer. Okay, he's going to be producing or executive producing or both. He'll provide input about the story, but he will be very, very involved, and his fingerprints will be in the movie. As for Jonathan Liebesman as a director, probably not happening. Apparently, he's been tapped to work on another film, which is great, because I don't want him to be involved with Transformers. You know what? There's still a possibility that Michael Bay will be involved. And I think that he wants, he doesn't want to do the same thing over and over and over again for every single film, okay? So he probably, came to Lorenzo de Bonaventura and Steven Spielberg and said that look, I only want to do these films if it's going to challenge me. Okay, I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. You know, we're probably going to have to change up the writers, and we're going to have to do something about the property as a whole. And because of that, maybe after he's done directing 13 Hours, he's going to work on Transformers 5 and 6. All right. Maybe back to back, you know, that way it's going to be one big shoot. And I'm pretty positive that the Transformers spin-offs will be directed by other directors, not Michael Bay. I'm pretty positive about that, okay? If you're going to put your money on any single thing, is that Transformers 5 and 6 most likely will be directed by Michael Bay, and the spin-offs will be directed by some other director, okay? But that's it. That's all I got to talk about. This is huge. This is a huge development. This is actually Paramount Studios and the filmmaking team actually, you know, caring about the future of the franchise, as opposed to just making these films as one-offs to a $1 billion revenue. You know what I'm saying? It isn't just about, I mean, sure, yeah, it is about money, but now they're looking at how they can work in making these films a little bit more creative, okay, and a little bit more connected, you know, as in connected to the audience, so that we can get invested in story, invested in the characters and all that. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this video. How do you guys feel about this whole thing, okay? At first I thought it was a bad idea, and still to this day I don't know if it's a great idea, but it is at least an idea, which means that we're gonna be getting more movies from the Transformers franchise. So there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. Let me know your comments about it in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name's Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. location scouting, testing out scenes, sequences, looking at cars, all kinds of things.